Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of this newsletter is going to be why women can lose attraction and interest in an instant. Well, I've got an email. This guy's 36 years old. He's an admitted poor student of my work. And he says after his most recent rejection, things just seem to click. And he really kind of realized what he's been doing wrong. And now he's promised to do better, to really learn the material. And the pain of rejection, especially when you start dating somebody you really like and then you screw it up, especially when you've got a book like mine in your hands and yet you don't take the time to learn it, read it, internalize it, practice it. So when a smoke show walks into your life, you're prepared. Because as Confucius said, success depends upon prior preparation. And without said preparation, there is sure to be failure. So this particular guy was dating a girl he really wasn't that into, was closer to, actually she was 42, attractive, accomplished, but he really didn't care one way or another. They were just kind of friends with benefits. She tried to lock him down a few times. He just basically said, no, I'm not down with that. And she was crazy about him. And then he meets this hot 23-year-old, and then he just basically, after the first date, he just basically falls apart, becomes all dopey, and makes a lot of just stupid mistakes, which he kind of makes fun of himself in his email here. But it's a good email to go through, especially for guys that might be watching this that are new to my work and make these kind of mistakes, because when a hot younger girl comes along and she really digs you and you dig her and you have a lot in common, it can really evaporate quickly if you're constantly communicating an unattractive vibe, or you're saying things that are unattractive. And like in this case, he says he became too available. He started acting dopey, super nice. And as soon as women get a scent or a whiff of weakness that you basically are acting like the 97%ers, because you got to understand, especially if the girl's hot, she's been approached and she's been on plenty of dates and she's met lots of guys that have behaved this way. And that's why if you're, at least initially out of the gate, behaving like the book talks about in a masculine way, and then you revert back to the beta male ways, it can flip that quick, because, in this case, he only went out with her, I think, once or twice. And he basically talked her out of liking him just over the phone and text. So there's a lot of good things to avoid in here, especially for those that are somewhat new. And it's also, because I say you got to read the book 10 to 15 times. You've got to remember, you're trying to undo a whole lifetime of unattractive behavior that we've all been socially conditioned to accept and think that it's normal. And so you're literally, all of us, we get emotionally anchored to dysfunctional ways of showing up and being and acting and dating and relationships. And if you wreck the sexual polarity, if you act like a girl when you should be acting like a man, it doesn't matter how attracted a woman is to you, it's going to evaporate that quick. And especially in the beginning when you're not emotionally bonded to her. It's a bad, bad way to go. So he says, hey, Corey, I'm writing you as a successful work in progress. I'm a 36-year-old attractive built construction guy. Being a poor student, I picked up your book every couple of years. I got dumped a year ago and decided it was enough. I started with the gym, listening to your books often, watching your videos, and practicing with women. Your advice hadn't truly clicked until my last rejection. My success thanks to you, Corey. I am currently seeing an attractive an accomplished 42-year-old that I have truly not cared if she walked away because of different outlooks in life that we have. It's been 9 months, and we had a couple of, where is this going? And I really like you conversations, which ended with me reconfirming to her that we are only friends. Friends with benefits, obviously. I hadn't made any mistakes, didn't put in any effort except to make dates when she contacted me. We meet, she hugs, kisses, gets instantly wet, and always wants to rip my clothes off. You got to treat all women the same. Now to my rejection, thanks to me. I had a gorgeous 23-year-old girl come up to me 3 years ago at the climbing gym. COVID hit and we lost touch. After contacting her once a year and her being single again, I had a date. I'm great on dates. Women do most of the talking, and at the end, I was told, I want to see you again. Received a text the next day thanking me for the date, and a couple of days later asking me out for ice cream. Falling for her looks, getting blinded by the future, and I lost my center, so I started to become too available, texting her daily, which led to her to cancel our date using a lame excuse. Phone is for setting dates, and right away, because he really super likes her, he completely reverts back to exactly the way that his TV taught him to be, which is the opposite of what creates attraction. Giving her time and space of 2.5 weeks, she jumped at the opportunity to go out with me again. So it seems like he backed off finally. I received a text the day before and the day of our date telling me how excited she was. The date was well planned and went without a hitch, so much so that she had texted me again the next day thanking me. I messaged back with, it was my pleasure. I enjoyed myself too, and I want to see you soon. Let me know when you're free so I can set some time aside for you. He says, yeah, I know. And then the 24-hour later reply came. I'm so busy. I'm going to check in at the end of next week. So she seems to be going a little colder again. And he says, then he texts back, plans to make plans, but I like it. Boo, 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 boo. He's like cooing like a dove. Ooh, ooh. You ever had a dove outside your window and it just ooh, ooh in the morning? That's what he's doing. This dude's sitting on a tree branch. Ooh, ooh, plans to make plans. I really like it. Ooh, thank you, Your Highness. Ooh, thank you for giving me the world. Ooh, ooh. I had a guy that used to work for me, and he was trying to learn this stuff too, but he just really had a hard time with girls he really liked. He goes out on one date. He's like, "Girl, this is the hottest girl ever." He sends her flowers after the date. And he says, thank you for giving me the world. That's what he actually wrote to her. He was so excited to have gone out with her. He acted like he won the lottery. And, of course, she friend-zoned him as soon as she got the flowers and the note. I was like, come on, man. You really sent that? He's like, I know, man. I can still see it. It was 20 years ago. I was like, man. But he'd never been out with a girl like that, and he just couldn't handle it. He says, I don't think I could have made it any worse. I checked in a week later. Remember, he told her to get in touch when she figured out her schedule, but he couldn't wait. He just had no self-control. Because deep down, he didn't feel like a girl like this could really be interested in him, so he acts in a way that's congruent with that. And what's the number one most attractive thing that women love about men? It's confidence. And when you don't have the confidence to just wait until she gets back to you, well, you're literally going to hit the eject button by accident. So I checked in a week later, and she took a day to respond. And then she sent, her message was, I will connect with you next week so we can talk. So instead of, oh, I'd love to see you, I can't wait to see you again, it's like, I'll call you next week. Probably because she can sense he's getting clingy and needy, and he may blow up at her because she's been on enough dates and talked to enough guys that if she just puts a guy off for a little bit, that's usually when they start to blow their top. He says, well, she got in touch, and it was the dreaded, I need to work on myself, and it doesn't feel right to date right now. That's what the talk was that he got. It's like, in other words, it just doesn't feel right to date you. That's what she's really communicating. Because he talked her out of it. Going from being super excited, her texted him, just like, it's just like that. Bing. You're out, buddy. So he says, after saying, I understand, and asking about the positives about her weekend, I told her to reach out if she changes her mind. Now I'm in no contact and moving on. He says, treat them all the same with indifference and results will come, boys. Well, it helps if you actually apply what's in the book and not the opposite of it. You don't want to drool all over your dates and go, thank you for giving me the world. I only think of you as a friend. The quantity and quality of women has only been getting better, so I'm not worried if she doesn't ever get back to me. Well, it's when you get stung like this, it's like finally you go, you know, the way I've been showing up is not ideal. But that's typically what happens with most guys when they start interacting with women that to them are their dream woman or women that are out of their league. They literally act like, I'm not worthy. Oh my God, I can't believe you're paying attention to me. And it's just like, ugh. You're supposed to be more masculine than she is, bro. Thanks for all your help and advice. I try to spread your message of the 3% man and have bought extra books to pass along. As I can say, it works. It works when you apply it, not when you do the opposite. So he says, you're great, full-in student. So, well, Bob says he's fully in. So maybe down the road, he will send us a great success story of how when he meets a woman like this the next time around, it goes the complete opposite and goes well for him. So if you got a question or challenge and you'd like to get my help, go to understandingrelationships.com, click the products tab at the top of your screen, and book a coaching session with yours truly. Until next time, I will talk to you soon.